Welcome to the Word for 2021. Today we're in Numbers chapter 9. In this chapter we have a command and we have a cloud. The command was that the people were to celebrate the Passover. They were not to forget the deliverance that God provided for them there in Egypt. They were to celebrate the Passover. They were to celebrate God's deliverance. But then in this chapter we also have the cloud. Now the cloud was guidance for all the people. They were to follow the Lord's leadership. When the cloud moved over the tabernacle, then they were to move out as a camp. When the cloud stopped, then the camp was supposed to stop. In verse 20 we read, sometimes the cloud was over the tabernacle only a few days. In verse 21, sometimes the cloud was just there overnight. And in verse 22, sometimes the cloud stayed for 2 days, or a month, or even a year. The cloud for the nation of Israel was their guidance. Today, we don't have the cloud before us. Where do we get our guidance from? Well, before there was smartphones and GPS, when you had to travel down the road, you used a random McDally map. I would look at the map and kind of find out which way to go, but sometimes when I get into a city situation, I wouldn't remember what the map said and I'd make a wrong turn. Inevitably, I'd be asked, "Are we lost?" And then I'd have to stop and ask for directions. Well, here in the Old Testament, God was their GPS. The cloud was their guide over the tabernacle. When the cloud moved, the camp moved. When the cloud stayed, they were to stay. The simple lesson that they were to learn here in the wilderness was, keep your eye on God and follow His lead. I love the way that Pastor Ronnie Miller put it. He put it this way, when commands are clear, obey. When complications arise, pray. And when guidance is delayed, stay. That's good advice. Never run ahead of the Lord. If you're not sure what to do, stay where you are and pray until God's guidance is clear. But then when His commands are clear, obey. Move out. Listen to God. Keep your eye upon Him and do what He tells you to do. Again, as you were traveling today, I love using my smartphone and that GPS. It tells me where to turn and when to turn. When we read God's Word and we spend time in His presence, God will tell us which way to go, what to do, and when to do it. So if we really want direction from God, we need to follow that simple rule. Keep your eye upon God, listen to Him, and do what He says. Thank you for joining the Word for 2021.